All right, everyone, welcome back to the finals, grand finals match, Chill Series LCQ. How's it going, guys? I'm Manny from Chill TCG. We had a great match for you. It's going to be really fun. We have Caleb Rogerson playing ADP going against Nerio, and he's playing TempoZard. So a very classic top-tier matchup, ADP versus TempoZard. It's going to be a great match. I really cannot wait. Both players played great. 350 players at Chill Series LCQ. The winner of this not only gets a bunch of Battle Styles PTCGO packs, but they're going to get our last seed in our invitational tournament. They're going to get the top 16 seed. I apologize ahead of time. The video quality here is going to be a little bit choppy. There's no spectate feature in PTCGO, so we're going with that Discord screen cap. I do apologize, but I hope you guys enjoy the games. We're going to get right into it. We're watching from Caleb's perspective, and he is playing ADP for sure. And he starts with the Zacian and the Eldegoss. Now, yeah, going first, starting with Zacian here is always a little bit sketchy. You do have the potential to get, kind of donked and just immediately KO'd on the second turn for Nerio here. But no other Pokemon search in hand, so we cannot actually find that ADP. And just leaving this lone Zacian in the active spot is going to be really, really, really dangerous. So Caleb knows that, and he's actually kind of debating putting down this Eldegoss, really just so that he doesn't have, any opportunity to lose on this first turn. He's going to attach to the Eldegoss as a pivot, kind of expecting it to get KO'd, honestly, and he's going to Intrepid, finds the Cherish Ball in the spinner, as well as the Metal Saucer. So, potentially we could see ADP get set up immediately next turn with both energies, but there comes the Giant Hearth, turn 1 for Nerio, always a little bit fortunate, and we're going to Jirachi for the Welder. So we're going to see if the Zacian does get KO'd this turn. If it doesn't, Caleb is feeling pretty good. He should be able to set up Zacian pretty easily, or ADP next turn pretty easily. But we'll see. We see the Quick Ball come out from Nerio, so it could definitely be potentially grabbing a Reshizard. Could be grabbing Blacephalon. I think he runs Heatran in his deck, so there's the Heatran. So interesting. I mean, he's got Hearth, he's got Welder in hand. Very likely, actually, that we have 3 energies on this Heatran, but if he has the Switch card as well, he Welders 2 on. Yep. Okay. So there's the third energy. Does he have the Switch? If he does, this Zacian V is going to get absolutely KO'd here right off the gate. Going to be really difficult for Caleb to kind of keep up the pace if this Heatran just kind of sets up with 3 energies, because even if he sets up an ADP, I mean, this Heatran we could Welder 3 more onto this Heatran, right? And just KO the ADP next turn as well with the GX attack. So a little bit unfortunate. We do have the Switch, so that is really good for Nerio. And he actually has the Crobat as well for 5 more cards. Wow. Absolutely crazy. And we get the Reshizard down on the bench as well. So this Heatran, 130 with weakness, 260, going to be KOing that Zacian V. Now we have this Eldegoss here in the active spot. Not super ideal. I mean, this thing is literally getting KO'd by Heatran as well without the GX attack. But we do have the Metal Energy in hand, so we're going to be able to ADP here, grab it with the Cherish Ball. Sees that we do have the Water Energies in deck. Always good to look and check those out. We have the Swell as well. So playing down the Swell is going to be really nice. Get rid of that Giant Hearth. No hand disruption so far. No Marnie. You will be grabbing that Water Energy for sure. I think that's definitely going to be your best play. And we're going to go ahead and Escape Rope into the ADP. So definitely hoping to draw maybe research into an Energy Switch to potentially get a GX attack off this game. And we're actually going to see the Great Catcher come out. And he's probably going to want to bring up that Reshi. It's going to be harder for him to retreat out. Yep, so that's what he does here. And he puts down the Swell. I apologize for that, whatever that was. So now he's going to go ahead and research. Does find the Energy Switch, so we're going to be able to get a turn 2, Alter Creation GX attack off, which is really good for Caleb. I mean, this is what you want. We're kind of a little bit back on pace. Those 4 prize cards, those 2 prize cards haven't been taken by Nerio last turn is a little bit unfortunate. If his hand is pretty good this turn, it could be really difficult for Caleb to come back. But again, that Heatran still can potentially KO the ADP. This Reshi could potentially get some damage off as well on the ADP, so we definitely have to be a little bit careful here as well. We have the Dedenne in hand, though, so I mean, this ADP is probably just living no matter what, and Nerio does Welder 2 energies on the Reshizard, so we could potentially Dedenne into a boss and bring up that Crobat for KO, set up a Zacian, and potentially just set up for the win, because this ADP is definitely living this turn. We get the third energy on, so we could see a Double Blaze GX on the ADP for 200. This would kind of put some more pressure on Caleb, but again, if we do, bench the Zacian, attach the energy Dedenne into boss, Caleb could still win this game, most definitely. So let's see exactly what happens here. Finds another Metal Energy off the top deck. He's going to Quick Ball it away. He's going to look through his deck, maybe. Just kind of figure some things out. I might grab Crobat. I might want a Crobat and Dedenne just to increase my chances further to try to draw into boss here, because I think we still have all the boss in the deck. This could be a really important turn for Caleb. We're going to touch the Metal Energy. We're actually going to Saucer, and now we can Crobat for 4 cards No boss off those, but we do have we have another saucer. We do have potentially a Cherish Ball, so he might just want to thin out the ADP here. Mawile seems to be prized, so that's one thing to keep in mind. I'm not sure if it's super needed in the matchup, but something just to kind of keep on the top of your head. And here comes Dedenne for 6. If we find boss here, Caleb is right back in the game. He draws 6. No boss's orders there, unfortunately. Just a couple Cherish Balls, and not even a draw supporter to draw some more cards. But unfortunately, without a boss's orders that turn, it's going to be really difficult for Caleb to win this game. He can hit into the Reshi, accelerate through to the Zacian, but I mean, he's just going to be behind because this Reshi's going to KO him, and then you know, he has the Heatran to just kind of to clean up anything else that could be on the board, right? So yeah, definitely a tough spot for Caleb to be in. That turn 1 GX was tough. The Crobat and Dedenne into no boss was tough, and he's going to be like, yeah, man, I'm actually just going to go first. So Caleb, you know, he's kind of going to just take the L that game. A little bit unfortunate for him, not much else he could do. We're going to go straight into game number 2, and I'm pretty excited, so let's get right into it. All right, game number 2. I mean, a quick game for game 1. Nerio, you know, took that game really early. I got some nice damage off on the board, got a early first turn KO. That's always going to be really good for Nerio. I mean, that's potentially exactly what you want here, but Caleb has a much better starting hand now. Elects to start with Zacian still, which is true, and probably safe because you want to make sure that ADP doesn't get any damage onto it turn 1. Definitely going to be the best play for Caleb here. And 3 saucers in hand is a little bit unfortunate. However, he Cherish Balls here. Could be grabbing... Okay, so he's actually grabbing Mawile. We're going to see a turn 1 GX for Mawile. And let's see what he sees in the hand. So no Pokemon in hand. We see that we've got the Welder, Hearth, Fire Energy, Escape Rope, and Fire Crystal. So a pretty decent little hand for Nerio, but no other way to like find more Pokemon. So Caleb actually elects to play down to Dedenne. He's going to discard 3 saucers in the research. But we actually find that turn 1 Swell, Chaotic Swell, which is going to be amazingly good. That means that Giant Hearth is not going to be able to be put on the board and utilized next turn for Nerio. And we're just going to attach the metal to ADP, so it's nice to find the energies as well. And he's going to Intrepid, finds the Water Energy and the Spinner, as well as Saucer as well. So honestly, a really good start for Caleb here. We should be able to go into that ADP and GX attack next turn. Feeling pretty good here. And Nerio just has to Welder 1 onto this Blounce to draw some more cards. Definitely pretty unfortunate. Now, if he doesn't get another Pokemon on board, this could just be, also a very, very quick game where, Caleb just takes an early KO, and that kind of decides the matchup. But we'll see. He actually does bench the Mew, and that's going to be there just, the Mew isn't actually doing anything in the matchup realistically, but it is going to be there so that if this Blound does get KO'd, Caleb doesn't just win the game outright. But we have the Water Energy in hand. I don't know if we have anything else to do. So yeah, he's just going to go ahead and Marty, hopefully draw into a way to switch into this ADP. It would be very unfortunate if he didn't, but he does find the Escape Rope. Very fortunate for Caleb. He has a lot of switching outs in deck, so was somewhat likely. Yeah, we're going to be able to switch into this ADP. We're going to Altered Creation GX, and the next turn we're going to be able to just start Ultimate Raying and taking multiple prize cards now. Getting that early game GX attack off with almost no damage on his board is going to be super ideal. Nerio does put down the Oranguru. He's got a Primate Wisdom here. Excuse me. And he actually attaches to the Mew to get the Psi Power off on the ADP. Doing 30 damage, puts ADP down to 250 HP. We see a second Swell from Caleb. He's like, wow, what's up, man? Absolutely ridiculous. And he actually likes to boss up the Oranguru, which is actually probably pretty smart. That's really the only way that Nerio is going to be able to draw cards next turn, most likely because he did just put a card from his hand on the top deck last turn. So killing this Oranguru means that Nerio pretty much hasn't drawn any cards this turn. Any new cards this turn, and taking 2 prize cards is always really good, and he's going to put 3 energies onto that Zacian. Finds the Rusted Sword. Could be really good if Nerio does bench the Reshizard, but I'm going to assume that Nerio probably won't at this point. But brings the Mew up into the active spot, and it's going to be really difficult here. I don't think that this Blacephalon with 4 cards in hand, no Oranguru, probably nothing to draw more cards. No Giant Hearth or anything. It's going to be really difficult for the Blound to get a KO here. So it looks like Caleb probably is just going to immediately start just KOing stuff with this ADP here. And definitely a much better position than game number 1, that's for sure. Nerio's like, I'm going to go second, so there you go. 2 immediate, super quick games for our grand final set here. We're going to go directly into game 3. So kind of exactly what we saw, but inverse effect almost, right? The thing is with Blacephalon is we all know that it's super strong. TempoZard is super strong mid to late game with those big knockout potentials. But if you don't get that hot start and you don't really draw into what you need early game, ADP is going to go ahead and dominate because, we all know that ADP is a very fast-paced deck, and if it gets the start that it wants to, it's going to be really hard to come back. It's going to be phenomenally hard. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get right into it. Caleb here. Let's see what he starts off with. So we start with the ADP, Dedenne, Air Balloon, Boss, Cherish Ball, Research, and Metal Energy. So actually a pretty good hand for Caleb. I mean, a lot of different routes that he could take here, a lot of different things. He's got a lot of ways to draw cards here. To be honest with you, we have the Mawile. Is he going to put it down? He does. Let's see what he finds. He finds a Dedenne and a Cramorant. That is huge because that right there is pretty much all the prize cards that he could potentially need. And gets rid of his draw, Nereo's draw support pretty much for that turn. Although Nereo did start with the Jirachi, which is fortunate for Nereo, but those two prize Pokemon now on his bench, that Dedenne just kind of being eliminated from contention to draw more cards is going to be really good. He Cherish Balls, kind of just burns it. He's going to attach to the metal, and he does put down his own Dedenne. Interesting, putting down Dedenne's here because that Cramorant is on the board, but finds the turn 1 swell yet again. So that is just phenomenal for Caleb. You love to see it. Actually, turn 2 swell? Not sure. So the Stellar Wish comes out. We know that Nereo isn't going to be able to draw more cards necessarily, unless he does find something off the Jirachi that will allow him to do so. Finds the Scoop Up Net. So I don't know if he has like a way to... Okay, so actually, yeah, he has Welder. Okay. Interesting for sure. He actually welders 2 onto the Cram. So we could just see a Cram Snipe off on this Dedenne this turn. Yeah, 3 energies on the Cram right here in the Scoop Up. Yeah, so, again, this is why, maybe Caleb putting down this Dedenne wasn't the safest play. But realistically, we're kind of fine with that. It's really not a big deal if you're Caleb here. You're like, that's okay. You can take the 2 prize cards, my guy. I have Marnie in hand. I have Zacian now. I have Water Energy, so I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, he's definitely just going to Marnie here, drop Nereo's hand down. He's going to Ultimate Ray here with that Swell in the active as well. It's going to be really just difficult for Nereo to advance his board state, really set up any attackers consistently here. We even have a Metal Saucer and an Energy Spinner, Quick Ball in hand, so a lot of good stuff for Caleb here. We're going to see the the Altered Creation GX come out. And now he's taking an extra prize card whenever he gets a KO, and he's doing 30 extra damage, so you love to see it. We see the Switch come out, so he does have the Switch in hand. He's going to be able to switch into the Jirachi, and now he's going to be able to Stellar Wish, hopefully find something to set up some of his Pokemon here. He could Welder again. Finds the Quick Ball, so we could just potentially see another Dedenne out. But this Quick Ball is probably just going to be an out for Nereo to draw a lot of cards this turn, potentially, which is what he needs, right? He needs to get something set up here. Welder in the discard pile, Switch, Scoop Up Net, 3 Fire Energies. Not too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary here. And Nereo, I'm curious to see what's in his hand. I really am. Because Caleb is putting on the pressure now. He really is. I mean, if we're able to Quick Ball, draw into a boss and KO that Dedenne with an Ultimate Ray and set up a Zacian, I mean, there's really not a whole lot that Nereo is going to be able to do. We see the Mew come down. Again, not actually doing anything. I think he's just putting down all these Pokemon to draw more cards with this Crobat, which he is doing. And that Mew and that Jirachi are going to be able to get scooped up, so not a big deal to fill up your board like that. And we'll see what Nereo does here. We'll see what he does. He's down a boss as well. So we see the switch. He's actually going to switch into the other Jirachi so we can get a second Stellar Wish off. Probably looking to find... I don't even see what he grabbed just then. We'll see. We'll see. He's probably going to want to start weldering to probably that Cram because he just has no other target. So we're going to see the Fire Crystal come out. He's going to be able to take those 3 energies back out of his discard pile. Definitely pretty fortunate. And we're going to see a welder. So he's going to get 3 energies on this Cramorant. But if he can switch in, I think maybe you just you spit shot into the ADP, which could be good. But he actually just doesn't have the switch. So a little bit unfortunate. For sure. Now, if you're Caleb here, I think that you definitely need to dig for boss. I think that if you get boss this turn, and actually he has boss in the discard pile, I believe, so we could Eldegoss for boss, but he actually elects to Energy Spinner. He's going to grab the water so you can put the second water in ADP and Ultimate Ray this turn, and he's going to saucer the metal onto his Zacian. It's all smart plays for him, and I think switching into the Mawile, totally fine. It's just a free pivot, so why not? And we're going to Dedenne. Do we find boss's orders here? We do not. So unfortunately, no boss's orders, but what Caleb is still going to be able to do is just attack with this ADP, take 2 prize cards, and KO this Jirachi. Putting down the Dedenne is a little bit sketchy, again, because this Cram does have 3 energies onto it, and he's going to be able to snipe the Dedenne. I thought that Caleb had boss in his discard pile. Maybe not. No, Nereo has boss in his discard pile, so maybe Caleb doesn't. I was going to say Eldegoss probably would have been the safer play, but No, Caleb does have Boss in the discard pile, so I don't know why he didn't grab Eldegoss there. Maybe just thinking drawing more cards was the better option. But putting Dedenne down is always sketchy because that guarantees 2 prize cards for Nerio next turn, and that could be the reason why Nerio potentially wins this game. We see a second ADP. He actually benches it, which is interesting. He's probably going to ultimate raid to this other ADP, and that's mainly just because this ADP is a good attacker. I mean, it's got a lot of HP. You're doing 180 damage, and it's probably going to be your one of your best targets to put these energies on. So he's going to split the 3 metal energies here. He's got 2 metal on the Zacian, 2 on the ADP. There's the Saucer, and there's a Boss. So huge, very good plays. But if this Cram comes in and just hits the Dedenne, we're just going to go ahead and switch into Zacian and KO it, and kind of force Nerio to have exactly what he needs to KO the Zacian next turn. Which could be a little bit unfortunate. He's down 2 Welders, Boss's Orders, and a few other things here. We see the Heatran come out. This is going to be really, really good, I think. Now, if Nerio sets up this Heatran this turn, so here comes the 3rd Welder. He's going to put just 1 energy on the Heatran, actually, which is not terrible, but at least you're getting some energies on the 2nd attacker that could potentially be a threat next turn for Nerio. So let's see here. The Hearth comes out, but the Swell just tells that thing to get out of here. And only 1 Welder left in Nerio's deck now. Grabs the Dedenne with Cherish Ball, and we're going to scoop up the Jirachi, which is interesting. And is he going to Dedenne away this hand? That's going to be really important. So he quick balls away the Reshiram and Charizard GX. Doesn't want to put that down, probably because it's just going to be a potential target to get 1-hit KO by his Zacian for 4 prize cards. So I do like that. I think going with Heatran, Cramorant, and Blacephalon for the rest of this game is going to be your best option here. I'm interested to see what Nerio does. I don't know if he should just snipe the Dedenne. I think that's your best bet. And we actually are going to see a Dedenne come down. And I think he discards a 4th Welder. Wow, yeah, so no Welders left in Nerio's deck. And I don't know if that was a great play on his part because, well, he does manually attach to this Heatran. Okay, so he just needs 1 energy and like a Boss, I think. To potentially seal the deal this game. But I think if Nerio spit shots here, KOs the Dedenne, we could just retreat into Zacian, boss up the Heatran and KO it, and that would force Nerio. Well, he doesn't have Welder, so that's actually going to be the best play. I think if you KO this Heatran this turn, if you're Caleb, then I think you're pretty much securing the game almost. And I think that's going to be your best option. We see the 2nd Swell off the top deck. He's like, let's go. And I think you want to KO this Heatran because that is going to be your biggest threat. It's the thing with energies. You know that Nerio's down to 4 Welders, so this is going to be smart. He actually just E-switches to the Zacian, attaches the water to the other ADP here. And are we going to see a Dedenne? I don't know if you... Yeah, I mean, I guess you do. He's out of Welders, so I guess why not, right? It's probably a safe play nonetheless. Doesn't find the switch, so he's going to just have to manual retreat. Not a big deal, though. Realistically, probably not that big of a deal. He could Crobat, but yeah, he's going to go ahead and just manual retreat into this Zacian and KO this Heatran. Now, Nerio, down all of his Welders, literally has probably no way to accelerate energies other than maybe if he can find a Mewtwo and get it off the top of his deck. But the Jirachi isn't on board because he scooped up the Jirachi, not the Mew, the other turn, which was also an interesting play. And Caleb here takes 3 prize cards, so he's got a big hand here. Nerio doesn't have Welder to accelerate energies to this Cramorant. That boss KO in the Heatran was really, really important. And the fact that Nerio did discard his 4th Welder is also extremely important. So I think that Caleb has him on the ropes here. I don't know what Nerio can do other than scoop up the Mew, get Jirachi in the active spot, put down Mew, grab the Welder, and somehow get some crazy play going this turn. It's possible for sure for Nerio, but it's going to be really tough. And I think that Caleb definitely played that last turn pretty properly. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how this game goes. We're kind of just sitting here. We're on the edge. We're gonna see exactly what happens. But yeah, if Nerio doesn't pull something out this turn, if we don't see a spit shot on Dedenne this turn for a game, then I mean Caleb has it. I mean he just has it. So let's see how it pans out. I think Nerio's taking a while here. He actually has Oricorio, but that's going to fill up a board spot and draw more cards. So I don't really know if that's going to be doing much in the long run because, again, Welder's not in deck. And you need to put it from your discard pile into your hand. And I think he's down 2 scoop up nets, so he needs Mewtwo, both scoop up nets, Jirachi, and another switch, I think. And that Hearth doesn't get to put into play here because of the swell. He attaches 1 to the Cram. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Nerio can do it, right? It would be really difficult for him to get it done. And the fact that he discarded those 4 Welders, it came back to bite him for sure. And Caleb with that boss up the Heatran kind of sealed the game that turn for sure. Okay, we're still waiting here. Caleb's just like, does he have it? Like, what am I waiting for right now? Kind of just a little bit uneasy for sure. But I think that he's probably feeling pretty confident. Nerio, though, still taking his time. Okay, so we see the defensive boss. So we need to get out of this active, I guess, if you're Caleb, but I'm sure he can either just research into it. He has an E-Switch and an Energy, so if he just finds another E-Switch or, something of the such, I mean, he has so many outs to switch out of this active spot, it's going to be real difficult for not to do him. He finds the E-Switch, so there it is. He's going to be able to E-Switch, bolt on, attach, manual retreat to Zacian and take the KO. So, congrats to Caleb. I mean, a great run in the tournament. His ADP list, just ended up getting it done. It really just got it done. So congrats to Caleb for getting that last spot in our invitational tournament, winning the last tournament of our Chill Series Season 3 season. So big shout out to both players. They both played great. Big shout out to Caleb. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Maddie from Chill TCG. You guys have a great night. I'll be back soon. Don't forget to play in Chill Series every Wednesday night. Thank you for watching. We're gonna get out of here. Peace out.